This town has never had higher education, but today, everything changes. This town has never had effective pedestrian priorities, but today we put pedestrians first. Welcome to our newest and most exciting project in Yellow Pine. You are not ready for this. Hello and welcome back to Yellow Pine on City Skylines 2, where today we are going to start the beginnings of a brand new town. Now, if any of you guys have seen my last video, you might be a little bit confused because we are currently in the middle of developing a brand new project in itself here. However, after trying to record this exact video 3 times working on this area, I have come to realize our city's budget and infrastructure is simply not ready for such a big project. And so I'm going to have to say goodbye to our forestry industry and this amazing idea. Not forever, absolutely not forever, but for a few episodes at the very least until we get our economy back on track. So, what are we going to do today, I hear you ask? Well, a wonderful commenter on Reddit gave me the amazing idea that we could have a town with a historical center. The idea of having 3 or 4 roads coming out of it in different directions, I think will work really well. One of the key issues we have with our old original town here is that we had to start off with only 1 single junction. Now we have 2, but I've actually added 2 access points into our farmland as well, purely to alleviate some of that pressure. What I love about this idea as well, having a historical center, is that we can really add some character to this place, and maybe, just maybe, could be where we put our first college. Considering I want a lot of offices and commercial in this area here, which requires high education, I think to actually get to a point where we can develop our forestry industry, having a small area here, maybe a little town, like the little town that we're going to develop today, could be a really good start for educating our population more. And so the age-old question, where on earth are we going to go? We're going to zoom out here and we are going to buy a couple of tiles along the coast here because I want some waterfront properties. And then we're going to have this tile and we'll go for these 2 tiles as well, purely because I want some breathing room. I don't want to feel too confined whilst building this. And there we are, just like that, we have got our tiles purchased. Now, first things first, I want to create a key. I want us to have a key that follows the water line as accurately as possible, because I think having a brand new town, especially a historical one, it makes a lot of sense to have high concentration, especially of commercial zones, right along the river, because that would have been a critical way of bringing in trade at some point in time. I think it would be a good idea if we start from the center and we start working outwards. Now, our wonderful viewer on Reddit has said that they want to have a historical center with an irregular road layout. I think it makes sense to have a center that is unique and distinguishable. So what exactly does that mean? Well, to me, that means having a town square. And I have very much on purpose made this town square so big because our sprawling streets going in all directions are going to be quite dense. And so this square here is going to have all of our green zone, basically. I see a lot of European cities have some kind of novel infrastructure going directly around a historical center, such as a ring road like this, because obviously these streets in the center were not designed for such heavy traffic. And so having a ring road like this, especially a 3-lane one, will allow for smooth, or relatively smooth at the very least, traffic in and out of our center. We're going to chuck a few roundabouts at each corner just like this, and then we're going to have some roads coming in and some roads coming out. I have purposefully made this square pedestrian roads because I really want to give that feel of a European center where people feel like they can walk anywhere they want to. I'm also going to do my best to prioritize public transport in this area, and so I am going to put a bus station right here in the center. Considering we have so many development points, I don't see why there's going to be a problem with us progressing all the way to large sports parks, because that is what I want to hit for our center that we're creating. So we're going to get ourselves some park maintenance, which never harmed anyone, and then we're going to go for sports parks. I don't actually think we're going to go to large sports parks. However, we will go to large parks because I do want a really large park to sit here, and I have no idea what we're going to be surprised with, so let's do this. Oh, nice. We've got some pretty varied parks here, and wow, they are big. how about we have ourselves a large plaza on this side? Actually, we're not going to have this plaza. I'm sorry. I just really don't like the look of it. That's going to be quite a financial hit for us. But again, we're going for aesthetics here. I did not like the look of that in the slightest. Maybe just a large city park in this corner would be nice. Oh, look at this. That's so cool. So we've got a beautiful fountain here and some picnic spaces, but also a stage. I absolutely love this addition to our town, and I really feel like it adds a sense of community to this area. I think we could do with a dog activity park over here, because I'm a strong believer of people being able to enjoy a stroll without worrying about being attacked by a dog, but at the same time giving the space for dog walkers to have an area that they can go to as well. So I like this, and look at how cute this is. You've got like little areas that the dogs can actually do tricks and stuff in, and you've got kennels and like a barbecue. That's so nice. I love this. And then, just like I said before, we are going to add some sports parks in as well. Let's have a few tennis courts. This will be really nice. I presume by the extremely bold color that is going to be clay. I like this, and I like the variation in textures here as well, from like the beige to the gray. Just add some variation. I like this. And then to finish off our park, we're just going to add in some pavements too. And I felt like these chunky parts kind of made sense, because this is like a pedestrian area and we want people to be really motivated to use the facilities that are on offer. I also discovered something absolutely awesome just now. Cycle paths? How cool is this? Literally baked into the base game. This is so exciting, and we are going to make the most of it right now. And so my general idea, right, is this center within this ring road is going to have a load of historical European buildings. I am hoping at some point we will eventually be able to zone in the EU mixed old town style apartment buildings within this super historical center. And then we're going to sprawl out and have ourselves a combination of mixed housing on some of the busier roads, and then just medium density housing sprawling out, just like you have in European centers. And then that will eventually spread onto low density housing. But I still want to allow people to move freely in this area without having to worry about getting run over, basically, which is where these cycle paths come very much in handy. Because I'm thinking if we use a divided wide pedestrian cycle path so pedestrians and cyclists can both use these paths, what we'll do is create a bit of a bridge across every quarter, so that in every corresponding quarter we've got a path, and that's going to start from our center and then sprawl out to all the other areas. And so we're just going to connect them in like this. We're also going to heavily saturate our pedestrianized square here with loads and loads of trees of all sorts of different types, because as I said, this is going to be our green center. I think we can zone in our EU old town style apartment buildings along here, being wary not to explode our density too much. And I'm actually going to populate the rest of the inner ring road with trees as well, and turn it into a bit of a green belt before we start expanding any further. Okay, time to expand. We have got 4 entry and exit points that I want to make very distinct in different ways. And just looking at the general geography we have here, right, I see this southern section here by the water turning into a bit of a commercial hub, where we might have some slightly higher density buildings eventually, maybe some more office space as well. And this is what this roundabout and this roundabout is going to serve. Whereas heading in this direction, I envision us having a more gradual reduction in density into some suburban sprawl. And over in this direction, considering we have fertile land, I don't see why we can't have some farms that also chill in this area. And so with that considered, I'm going to have this road come all the way through the heart of what could potentially become our office area, eventually connecting to our coastline quay. We're going to have this road actually merge directly onto the quay like this, and we're also going to have a highway connect directly onto here. The idea, just like the brief said, we are going to have multiple important roads leading into this area. So don't be freaked out when you see just one single highway connection here, because I expect us to have absolutely loads once we're done. Oh wow, and it seems like we've got fertile land all along here as well, which is really cool, because it kind of makes sense that we have a bit of an agricultural buffer between the highway and our town that we're developing. And because most of this area is going to be agriculture and mostly traffic free, generally speaking, I'm going to have this road very quickly curve in here and start to form a bit of a ring. This road here, I'm also going to extend out this way and eventually marry up. And whilst we're at it, we are going to do an absolute overhaul on our highway system in this little area. And I think a pretty cloverleaf that can manage high volume traffic will do the job for us. And it will actually allow for some more traffic management in this area by providing an additional access point into our industrial side here. We're going to upgrade all these roads to get a few more lanes. And I am loving this interchange already. I mean, half of it actually being in the water. Luckily, it's not going to obscure any boats coming along because we can just increase the height of the bridge that goes over. But I kind of like the look of it. It's quirky. We're going to stick a humongous roundabout over here. And here come the highway connections. And so we've got ourselves loads of connections coming into our town. We've got one here, two here, and a third one down here as well. Will it support the traffic demand? I really hope so. Next thing is adding our agriculture, because once we start adding in our farms, I think everything else will just slowly start to get framed and slot into place. And so let's start down here. I really like the idea of us having a school centered within some farms. I don't really know why, but I just love the idea of a bit more of a rural school. So if we get ourselves a bit of a narrow road and then we stick it down like this, and then get ourselves a ridiculously sized loan, which I am probably going to regret, we can build ourselves a really nice high school. I don't see why this could be a proper educational hub and have ourselves an elementary school here as well. And we have a bit of a crazy little underpass here that connects you onto the main roundabout here that can take you onto the highway. And we've also got ourselves a connection over here. We're going to bring this pedestrian cycle path along here and connect it up, adding in some boulders here to actually stop people from falling down this overpass, alongside some pebbles as well. And then we're going to finish it off with some concrete barriers. This kind of looks pretty nice. I mean, if you get past all of these obstacles and you still somehow find yourself accidentally falling in, then I guess you can officially class yourself as an idiot. And we'll do the same on this side as well. Right, there we are. Next, we're actually going to add some agriculture in. How about we have ourselves a little farm over here that comes right up to the road and fills this entire block. I really like the look of this. And so we just have to add a road in to make them happy, and we'll get ourselves another farm here. I think we'll change things up here and have ourselves a vegetable farm with another one across the highway and one more here. And let's stick another one over here. I really like this little educational / agricultural area. I think it's really well detailed. We've got some awesome pedestrian / cycling zones that connect directly to the town center. And I'm sure we will get back to this later, but let's change things up a bit and start focusing on our residential area that's going to exist up here. Okay, so first things first, we got to figure out where our access points are going to be for our residential zone here. I think it makes valid sense that we use exits from both of these roundabouts. And so how about we have a road that comes in along here and comes down here, and then we've got another road that's going to curve and wind here and then make its way once again down here. I think we should probably stick ourselves a little roundabout. Actually, I'm not going to stick a roundabout in because this is a one-way system, so it wouldn't really make much sense, I don't think. But I like this layout to start off with. Now we have to think, what is going to be distinct about this little district? Well, this is our town center here with all of our green space and our bus hub, and we're going to have a lot of commercial / residential zoning around here. We have our education area here with some farms, which has been taken care of. So I really do want to make this as residential as possible. And what I'm thinking is that we have some high density here that then gradually expands into lower density as we progress out. But first, it would be really nice if we could start planning out pedestrian and cycling routes. So we're going to drop this down here and draw ourselves 2 chunky connecting roads. I'm paranoid this isn't connected, so I'm just going to draw this out one more time. And then we're going to drag this along. We're going to forget about bridges and just have a zebra crossing. And this cycle path is going to go right along here, following the road. Once again, crossing here. This is where we're going to create a bit of a bridge to actually go over the highway. And you know what? We are going to follow the back of this zoning, we're going to hug along this highway, create ourselves a cute little bridge here, and then connect back. So we've got ourselves a cycle path that basically encapsulates our whole residential area. It doesn't really get people from A to B, basically in a circle, but it gives them an opportunity to become one with nature if they want to do so. So I'm going to draw out some grids here and see what we can create. And I think this grid will do the job. We only now just have to build out some suburbs. And I think this suburban sprawl's pretty nice. And so we're going to zone in all along here our smaller, low-density housing. And then we're going to have some row homes that come along this main road. We're going to chuck in a small bit of commercial along this road here. And then the rest, we're going to chuck in some proper medium density housing. And I feel like it would be nice for the time being if we leave these roads empty, and we'll see how it looks when everything starts to zone in. I'm really liking the look of our suburban area here. And so maybe now it's time to start focusing on the waterfront. Now, the first thing that I look at when I consider waterfront is this beautiful housing here. I think all of the residential areas we're going to have for this are going to fall under the categorization of waterfront housing, but we're going to have a lot of businesses as well. I want this to be a really nice commercial promenade along here. And I've just realized I can actually have a key with pedestrian and cycle paths, which is awesome. So I am actually going to say goodbye to our road key along here just for a second. I'm really liking the look of this. However, it is now of great importance that we make sure we know what we're doing with our roads here. I want these roads to hug as closely as possible to our pedestrian cycle paths, because my idea is that we have these fairly regular intervals where they connect into this road. And my thought process here is that if we're able to spawn some old style EU apartment buildings, I know I said the only residential I was going to zone is the waterfront housing, but I have gone back on my word. What I really like about this housing is that it's got shops underneath, and then above you have houses. And I think this would really and truly be a prime location overlooking the river and whatever's to be built here. I think that would be really quite beautiful. And so we're going to have this road stretch out and follow behind basically before it meets up once again here. And we're going to add a few little streets here and there to connect up. And then along this side, we're going to just have some standard EU mixed housing. And this road along here is going to become a bit of a shopping street before then extending out into this open space here to give us some beautiful EU waterfront housing. I kind of feel like it would also be nice if we decorated these little walkways, maybe with some plant pots like this. I kind of just feel like they add a bit of character to our seafront here. And how about we add entire rows of cabins like this as well? Maybe this is like prime fishing area, and people come along here, rent out a cabin, and they stand or sit along our pedestrian area here and do some fishing as they watch the beautiful scenery in the distance. That would be kind of nice. Now, I did say to you guys that we were going to have a college in this town, and I feel like this area here would be a prime location. It's accessible to the center here, it's also accessible to the seafront, and I'm sure we'll get ourselves a bus route linking directly to it. So if we draw ourselves a little pedestrian path, and then I just realized we have to actually unlock the tile for this. So we're going to do that now. Oh wow, this thing is massive. I love the look of this. Oh, nice. Well, it's beautiful. And to be honest with you, I kind of like the slightly off terrain. It just adds to the realism again. Maybe at some point in the future, we will be lucky enough to actually have ourselves the money and resources to expand this, add some sports parks. But for the time being, I think this will do the job very, very well. Man, the detailing on this college is so nice. I really, really like this. It's going to be pretty important we have ourselves a firehouse, but I don't see why we can't have it on this highway here. It's pretty empty for the time being, and so all we need to do is stretch out a bit of road here and then put it here. And I'm sure at some point this will be covered by farmland or some form of agriculture. The same can be said for a police station. I think we will definitely need one here, but the question is, where do we put it? Well, this little zone looks pretty nice. So how about we have a pedestrian path that arcs around in both directions here, bypassing the roundabout, but hopefully, because it's a pedestrian path, people won't start using it. And maybe we have ourselves some shops around here as well. I'm also getting really annoyed that we don't have this tile because I think it would really complete our build we're doing right now. So I'm actually going to purchase it and take the financial hit because we've got loads of fertile land here as well, where I think we could build some really nice agriculture. And so I'm actually going to have our medical clinic a little out of town here, but I do think it looks pretty nice here. We could definitely do with a cemetery or two as well. And I kind of feel like this area here would actually let it slot in really quite nicely. So we're going to get a small alley and the cemetery fits in perfectly. Just going to extend the road all the way around here, and then we're going to connect it up to our road. And that fits in beautifully. To be honest with you, considering the expansion we could have here, I feel like it would be nice if we added an additional plot here. And I think that goes quite nicely. Although I do think both of these plots could do with a tiny little bit of pedestrian access. Next up for our beautiful town is going to be water. Looking at our groundwater sources, we've got a couple of places we can go. Well, one area is completely covered by agriculture right now. I guess we could redo it. And I think it makes more sense to have it here a little bit further out from our urban sprawl. So I'm going to shrink our farms just a little bit here. And hopefully this will give us a bit of space to add a few of these. And nice, we've just unlocked a great town. We're just going to connect up all of these water pipes and bring it onto our main grid. And I've just realized because the highways don't actually supply utilities, we're going to have to do a little bit of drawing of pipes right now, and we'll have to do the same for electricity cables. Nice, I feel like these water towers kind of fit in actually. To be honest with you, I think they probably are the ugliest of the water towers we have available, but they're efficient, they do the job, so we're going to keep them for the time being. We're going to take a moment just to bring our pedestrian streets with our cycle lane down here. And let's do the same here, and we're going to prioritize our college for this, and we're going to bring this bridge directly across. Before we add farmland into this area, I do feel like it would be beneficial if we expand our suburban sprawl, being mindful of the fertile land here, making sure we stretch around this area to get some houses in, but making sure we don't infringe on the farmland. We're going to chuck in some residential zoning all along here, and along here too, and a farm here. That's going to hug right up to this road, along here, trying to align with the contours of the natural land around. Well, this is one pretty big farm, but I like it. As per usual, we're going to get ourselves a road here and connect it onto our main road. And we're going to stick just one more here, once again following the contour lines. This one's going to be a little bit smaller. And I hate the terrain here, so we're going to redo this. Or actually, you know what, guys? We're just going to leave this as a forest. Actually, I take that back again. What we're going to do here is get ourselves a few windmills, and we're going to make use of this land in a slightly different way. And maybe we could actually add a bit of a sand surface to this whole area to make it distinct against everything else. And I'm kind of liking this. I feel like it's going to fit in with the surrounding area pretty nicely. A reliable post service is going to be critical. So how about we stick our post office right in the center here? And then we're going to put our post boxes in as many places as we can. I think all of these places make sense. One additional thing I've just realized we should most definitely have is a radio mast, so our citizens actually gain a bit of happiness, and it seems like this reach is going to be pretty good, and it adds a bit of a distinct structure to our skyline. From the get-go, I'm going to create a bus route so that if anyone does want to travel from our original village over here, then they have the freedom to use a bus. We're going to make this express service an orange so it's easily visible. Looking at everything right now, it seems like we have got all the skeletons needed for a functioning town. And so the only thing we have to do now is unpause the simulation and we'll see what happens. Well, things already are starting to build in, which is amazing. I can imagine demand is probably going to skyrocket considering we've got some really good facilities here, such as a beautiful college, the first in our entire city. A lovely square with so many activities to do, from walking your dogs to playing tennis or watching a live concert. I knew there was something I forgot. Oh dear. Waste management is going to have to be resolved. Let's unlock the water treatment plant because this is going to come in handy. And how about we put this huge facility deep into the farmland away from everyone? I think the location suits what it's going to be dealing with. We don't really want sewage near our entire town, and it seems like it's nestled within the forest quite nicely. So that should get rid of all of our sewage problems, and all of those problems have just disappeared. And wow, I am genuinely amazed by how quickly this town has started to grow. Ironically, our central historical town square will probably be one of the last things that zones in because we need commercial demand for that. But the residents are very clearly enjoying what we've created for them today, so that's awesome. It seems like we are in desperate need of more buses, so we're going to create a small bus depot that's going to fit in pretty nicely here, and hopefully we'll start to see a load of buses turn orange. Not just red, hopefully, but actually orange, which is for the line that's going to connect, there we go, this beautiful orange line that's going to connect our old original village to this brand new town. And I seriously could not be happier. Our population is on the up, our budget is massively increasing, and our citizens are happy. Still with the concern of a high crime risk, but with our new police station, hopefully that means things will only continue to go upwards. It's so annoying that it's all medium density that I want to grow here, but that's the one with no demand at the moment. And I'm pretty impressed that traffic is actually staying pretty low. I personally would class this as a great success. And in my opinion, I really feel like I've learned from the mistakes of my first development here that we created in the last few episodes. And I've brought all of that knowledge into this new town, whether it's the effective highway management and reduction of traffic, to the subtle decorations that just make such a difference when you start to zoom in. The development of brand new buildings like a college, or planning a city around pedestrians and cyclists before we even start to consider drivers. I really and truly think I have learned so much from this game already in just under a week. And I really am so excited to see this brand new town grow. So once again, thank you so very much to the person that gave me this amazing suggestion on Reddit. And I am really looking forward to starting to see this new development grow in the next episode. And wow, all I can say is this looks absolutely beautiful from the college. I love this. If you enjoyed watching this town getting developed, then please do leave comments below with what you want to see next. And whilst you're at it, subscribe if you love this content and you want to see more of it. And don't forget to drop a like as well. It makes a world of difference to me, and I'll be forever thankful. And so until next time, I will see you all very, very soon.